Hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. I can't decide if I like this or not. I have a ring light, but I feel like I think it looks better without it, honestly. So I'm gonna not use it. Anyway, ooh. Is this really loud right now? Hold on. I think that should be a bit better. Anyway, welcome back everyone to Rise from the Ashes. Our latest in Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney nonsense. 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. That salsa got up at me. Huh. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Wow, you're really just drinking in court, huh? Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind call it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? Never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony the day of the crime. In plain old English. You don't want cowboy speak? The day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon on the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. Imagine admitting, like, that much incompetence on a court stand. Can't say I particularly care for your attitude. Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? It's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weakness, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Let's do this. Alright, we had to press him on everything because he speaks in nonsense. Keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. I don't think I need to press one. Said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know joined the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. Lie. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. Haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Seriously. Besides, the room is protected by 2 security systems anyway. used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem like this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was a street-side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongo Cepea pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not at all. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" I'm just an innocent trail man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. No, we have ammo. So, where is our thing here? Evidence from floor plans. SO9. I'm gonna refresh my memory of these. I know we looked at these before, but they're gonna be relevant, I'm sure. Where's the, here it is, Marshall's fingerprints. The print had been wiped. Okay, so it was only in the pressing that he said that he didn't go in, right? So let's do this here. I'm gonna present his fingerprints. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. Only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the blood-stained fingerprints. Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. How is he gonna get it out of this one? Like I said, only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Did we know that? See, I had nothing to do with it. The murderer was wearing gloves? The witness' explanation appears valid. Oh, there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Alright. So, like, he's not wrong about that. But, see, this seems weird, right? Like, that doesn't seem right. But, the bloodstain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. So I don't think that's true. So is 777 his ID number then? If he goes in all the time? Fingerprinting set, screwdriver. I don't think this doesn't seem like it has anything to do with anything yet anyway, right? This will probably be related somehow later. Goodman's lost item, seen the stabbing, a rubber glove, lamp. Was he wearing gloves? Can we see that in here? Because that's, I don't know, that's not something that I thought was a thing. I know Lana was wearing gloves. Are those gloves? It's honestly kind of hard to tell. Are those gloves? I guess let's look at Meekin's hands. Maybe we can tell the difference between gloved and ungloved hands. Is he wearing gloves? Oh, I guess so. The other thing though is that we see that locker is opened at the end of it all. I wish that we had pause and replay commands on this footage so that I could pause and investigate it a bit more. Yeah, see then here there's a thing sticking out. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Let's press a bit. So then, what about the bloody handprint? It wasn't mine, no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. Sure about that? The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from here with a mere fingerprint. Wanna know why? The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. No, they're not. The thing is I think it's... The video feels relevant, right? Because it shows that when they passed that locker that it opened, right? So I'm gonna present that. But apparently it's not good enough. Is it really though? Like, the murderer was wearing gloves. Maybe we can get some more. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hands on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Can't let him scream out of this one. Gotta find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to the crime. How do we tie him to the crime? Like, the fact that his ID isn't on this list doesn't help us at all. We don't have the fingerprint file here, huh? After the date, scene of the stabbing. Like, we have this, which is his locker. But it really, the print had been wiped. Why would they wipe the print? Is that the smoking gun? I'm still kind of caught up on the locker. Because, like, we can see it in the video, but maybe it's not the right time to present it. No. Alright, I'm gonna try presenting the handprint again. This seems like the spot where we're supposed to be trying to contradict. But apparently not. Alright, hold on. Alright, let's back up. I'm gonna reload. I'm gonna press them on everything, even the stuff that I don't think I need to press them on. That's because you, how do you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. There we go. Thank you. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was the detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, that is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. There we go. That's helpful. Okay, so that's something we didn't have before, because I didn't think I needed to press on that. So I'm gonna save. And that ties it, right? I'm gonna finish pressing on everything though before we continue. So then what about the bloody handprint? It wasn't mine, it's no mystery. Please explain. My locker covered my fingerprints. Just so happened the murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. And then we do the chances. Because they're unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kind of like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. That's right. Although seemingly like they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? I mean... Okay. Maybe a loner, but I still do my job. Okay. Found on Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on the handprint. The murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. Trying to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood and the dessert. It's just foods for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. Okay, so now we're going to use that to prove him wrong. As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? It was you, though. We can prove it. Okay. Marshall. But, oh, it doesn't work? Okay, maybe we need to use the updated fingerprint because it shows that it's on his locker. Where's the fingerprint? Oh, wait, I know what we need to do. We need to present the, let me get out of this. We need to present the locker itself, because that's the thing that actually shows that we're doing it. What? No? But everything I have, like, I clearly have it pointing to him. We have his hands and his admission on the video. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall is present, please do so now. Okay, so we don't object, we just have to keep pressing. Alright. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up making the... You might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now, let's have another look. Show us this incriminating evidence. Alright. Let me show you. Bonk, slap, bam, swoosh! Oh, he had blood on his coat at that point. Do you see that? Alright, here we go. Ready? And... pause. There it is. Here we go. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon enough forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. There it is. Oh, the white cloth is gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order. Seems that that's the... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so opened the locker and stuck it in. Not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? Because you're stupid? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who could open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker. Now prove it. Oh. Okay. Like... this. Like, I know he's bad with machines, but still. A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. You know, some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Chewing on jerky? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! That was 8 words, right? I only got 1 word for you. No, that's 9. This is a joke. It's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Chewing on like a leather strap or on jerky? Ole! Please answer the question. Was he now a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can. Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Do we have to spell it out for you, buddy? Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He was right here. Victim killer. Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. Your chamber is empty, partner. Better reload. What? Now they're ganging up on me. Probably should think a little bit more. What? Should have seen him in the office. He could have been. Huh? Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Aren't we saying he's the one who did it? Are we not saying that? Like, for Meekins not to see him, he'd have to be, like, here. Right? Like, he'd have to come in, not see him at all. Here? I'm gonna get penalized again, right? Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. That's some. Damn it. Dude, what? Am I getting mixed up? V and K, killer and victim, right? It wasn't the victim. What? I don't understand. Was he hiding in the locker? The fuck? I don't understand. Should have seen him in the evidence room. It means he has to be in a place that he couldn't see him. Like in a corner? Like here? Like what do you want from me? Nope. I don't. Oh shoot. Oops. We gotta go back through this. Oh wait, right. Sorry, it's a press, not an objection. Yeah, we'll just reload. We had to do the whole video thing again. Shoot, I should have saved after that. Show evidence. I'm still really confused though. Alright, maybe we can figure out here. Meekin... Was he behind this thing? Could he have been hiding, like... No, there's too much trash, right? So he can't be there. Could he really have been hiding behind this thing? And Meekins was looking to the side the whole time. So maybe it's possible that he was in the other corner? I guess. Okay, let's skip through this. Yeah, he's not. He's not in any of those things because of all the trash. Could he really... Like, he couldn't fit behind this, though. Right? And he would have shown up on the video if that's the case. So he's not behind that. He doesn't show up on the tape at all. Alright. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna save after he has a bad time. No, don't reset everything. Just just save. That's all. I just don't want to have to do that again. All right. Okay, now this is the part that I am so very confused on. No place for someone to hide, but Officer Beacons didn't see him. If that's so, then where was the witness? The only place he could have been is here, I think. Because the camera is like right here, so we're getting like a panning shot from here. The thingy-mahoos is here. When Meekums enter, he's like looking off to this side the entire time. So he has to be here. Right? Officer Marshall was standing right here. Think a little bit more. He should have seen him. I mean, we're not saying that he's the victim, are we? Because there's a whole like scuffle and everything. Although if he was behind somehow, then maybe he wouldn't have noticed him because he would be behind the killer. No. What is this? The V for victim is Meekums, right? Like, there's no way we could say that he's the victim. That doesn't make any sense. Wait. Oh, okay. Apparently we are saying that Goodman's the victim. My bad. Sorry, I guess my brain is dumb. Because I was thinking that Meekums was the victim because we proved that he's not the murderer, even though he likes to admit that he is. But okay, so this is Goodman. Okay, fine, that makes more sense. If you consider like Meekums as like the killer in this scenario. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where, excuse me, where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. He never saw the face. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified to the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekums would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that, called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. Can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, Mike can hit on anything like that. Can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ugh, can't be happening. So obvious he's the one. What can I do? Throw me a bone, Edgeworth. Is he actually going to? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. Basics. Hi, Space. Oh, you're playing the game too? Also, don't let me spoil anything for you. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. Didn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. The handprint with the gloves. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the Deathhead's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? His jacket? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. Found the evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. If we're going back to the video, I'm not entirely sure what else I have in there, honestly. Please show us why the witness had to what? Why the witness had to do what now? Although, if he hid the jacket, it's because it had blood on it, I guess, which we can see that during this, like it's all pristine and white, right? And then, see, like his shoulder there is fine. Then Meekums comes along. Dude pulls out a knife, and that gets blood all over him, right? Right here. I think that's why. Whose blood is it though? It's Meekins' blood. And he couldn't be seen walking out with a bloody trench coat? I think. For some reason you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. So, why is Goodman in there? Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Oh, thanks, Space. I appreciate that. Looks like I underestimated y'all. Hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Alright. Seems the time has come. Here we go. Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. Couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. I suppose he doesn't have to worry about, like, a murder case, right? It's just, like, stealing evidence, I suppose. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Ooh, it was in the pot. Wait, no, they said that was broken already. Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. I mean, if it, like, nicked his wrist, then there'd be a lot, right? Maybe? Alright, let's save so that I don't have to click through the video again. Also, out of curiosity, Space, are you playing this, like, the remastered version on Steam? Or are you playing the, like, original on, the original's on the DS, right? Had to do it that day. Couldn't just stand by and let it die. I don't really feel like we need to press him on this, but we've gotten a lot of information from pressing Marshall every time, so. When you say it, you mean the SO9 case. Do you even have to ask, partner? The SO9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer roll that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what you did hope to accomplish... but what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. Wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Because his dad died, right? Or brother, or someone related to him in the case files. They have his last name. That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. Planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? Because he was he the lead on the case? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filing out that lost item report. I returned his ID card, left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. When is my question, because we found out the day of, like, when we went to go over to the murder site, and we met Marshall there. But did he drop it there that day, or did he drop it when he transferred a dead body? The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. I don't think Marshall doesn't strike me as like someone who would actually murder Goodman, though. That seems like it must be something else. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Did he do it because he asked him to? Like, were they in cahoots? Wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I don't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. Why did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I don't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim is showed on that tape as me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Wait, the SO9 evidence? Don't we have like half of it? Like we have the case file that Gumshoe brought us. We have that weird pot that was all over the floor. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. He's right, he has the Fifth Amendment. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself, so have serious consequences. Can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I like that the judge is just like the judge is watching this case in the same way that like court TV shows are watched. Can't just forget the SO9s, and you know why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. Okay. Everyone's involved with this, better take a look at the file. Okay, let's get to the last bit. No. Let me stay on the last piece. Alright, hold on. Let me save. Also, it's, is it the second page, I think? It's the list of victims, right? Joe Dark killings, serial murder. Yeah, victims, right here. Neil Marshall. Where's that? Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SO9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SO9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SO9 case before I did. The serial killer... Wait. How does that work? Wait, was he murdered during the case? Like during the 3-day trial or something like that? That's right, he was killed, and the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. Aww. And apparently they both loved the Wild West. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was a part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Well, Joe Dark. I like that Joe Dark has blonde hair. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SO9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with the resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. And now he's going back to prosecute for Lana, right? The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. That he do. That he do. All the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye, and the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Objection. No, say objection. That's a single word. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Hold it? Is it Emma? Yeah, she's back. She's here. Your Honor, wait. Emma? The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? In a sense. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Aw, look. He's just as nice as Von Karma. 3 minutes or less, please. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SO9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it. The names of both Sky sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints are found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. What do you mean, no? Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. We can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. That was a good face. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? Does there? I mean, there has to be, right? There's no prints because of gloves. That's whatever. The SO9 note memo is kind of weird still. The fact that, like, we still have her weird, like, the shoe situation, as well as, like, the barrel of water that got pushed over still feels a little bit odd. Wrapped in the muffler. Small tag attached. With blood on it. There's still one ID we don't have accounted for. We have Gant's weird evidence. Rubber glove. This. Is there? I don't know. I mean, there must be, right? Because we're not done with the trial, but still a little bit confused. It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use, but still, can't find anything wrong with that blood mark. Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. However, I need to concentrate is now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? The mascot was in front of it. Right? The mascot was in front of it. This handprint left at this crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? The blue badger! What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger's not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What the faces are so good in this game. Like, they're so quick, you can't like quite get to the screenshot fast enough. You don't know they're coming, but it's great. So that means just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma. On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it'd be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment. Not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... Yeah, you can't see the blood, the handprint there. The blood isn't there yet either, though. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. I think our, maybe our, the ID log? Because there's only one other time on there, right? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? This? Right? Right here. So 20 minutes before Edgeworth came in, right? That's the only thing that makes sense, right? If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record! Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ugh. No, 4:20 probably. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the lumino test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7,777,777. Have you ever noticed that, like, I don't know, like, if I guess people in finance and, like, banking probably say big numbers all the time. But, like, have you ever noticed how obnoxiously long it is to say large numbers? That aren't just, like, rounded off, like 7 billion, 7 million, those kind of things. Just when you actually have to, like, say them all, it takes so long. Talk about a lucky number. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777777. Did I say too many sevens here? Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous! Not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 777777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SO9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? All eyes on Lana. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor, while they're actually entertaining this? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana. I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the defendant. Just what are you saying? I ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes requires drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos and control could not be quelled, and we'd have to wait until the following day. Sorry, I clicked a little bit too late. Wow, I think that's the first time we've had an extension to the trial today because of just like an upset within the court like that, not because of like actual evidence or like plausible deniability about something that we went over. Excuse me. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. So this is 24th is still the same day, right? So 3 hours later, roughly speaking. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. Sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SO9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? Well, the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you. Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. God, the music is so good in this game. All right, let's chat, Emma. Tell me more. It happened 2 years ago. It's right about this time of the year too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together when she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? Oh, I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Mr. Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. Huh. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago. Oh, sorry. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. But you're 16 now, you can draw a picture for me. We'll use it in evidence that will somehow tie all this stuff together. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies, and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Yeah, how is she not dead? Like, if Neil Marshall died, and she just passed out, like, who stopped Joe Dark? There's something that's pulling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? It's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? Better have another talk with her. The plot thickens. We kind of already knew that, though. Considering it's listed on in the SL9 case files, right? pretty sure anyway. Witness Emma Sky. Where's the... Oh, I guess... Oh, never mind. It's not listed here. Oh, yes, it is. Executive investigators. Okay. I wonder... Should we... We have a lot of evidence. I'm gonna... Let's present. I think we already had a number of these things. Aside with that loan of dress up again. I never would have thought Officer Marshall was the type to do something like that. Didn't come as much of a surprise to me. Okay. So that some of that was newish, but not really, like, really. It was just kind of a recap. Bet you'd be pretty happy with the King of Attorneys shield too, huh? We defense attorneys are scattered unrecognized bunch. So I wonder why the trophy shield is broken. It's not odd at all. It's because they are breaking the shield of defense. Mr. Edgeworth's knife was the murder weapon, right? Or so the witness Miss Starr claims. She saw your sister stab Mr. Goodman with this knife. Oh, you know, all this is that Angel Starr's fault. She's not the one on trial here. But, well, no, but she must have seen it wrong. Her eyesight isn't on trial here either. Okay. I think we've presented most of this stuff to her. I'm just gonna present like the SO9 related things to see what's up with this. Seems everything is somewhat related to this incident. What was it labeled again? The SO9 incident? Yes, the name of everyone connected to this trial is listed here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone plays in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. What exactly did or didn't Lana do? I'm not sure I want to know everything. Does she have any thoughts about this jar? Jar's pretty fragile. Looks like it's about to break apart. What do you mean about to? It already broken. I meant again. This piece was found in Detective Goodman's evidence locker. That means somehow related to the other incident. Yeah, how though? Alright, I'm gonna move over to the detention center. Lana. Mr. Wright? Seems like I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But, Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh, about how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SO9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Alright, let's chat. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. It's true. I was a member of the police force, sorry. It's really hard not to click sometimes, you know? Like you want to click so that it like fills in the rest of the text so you can read it easily. But then you accidentally go forward. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Sorry. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SO9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes. Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office, and the same investigations. Same office. That's interesting. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save you from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. Gant and Marshall let their guards down around a serial killer? From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. Whoa, what happened here? Did Emma kill Dark? What's up with this? When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma who had passed out, and the suspect Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SO9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence. I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to the extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SO9 murder. What? It has been 2 years. What are we possibly gonna find there? Besides, like, a testimony from Gant himself about that day. Just wondering if there's anything I should see if we could learn. Does she know who the ID is? No, okay. So she won't answer any questions around that. Why is this in a muffler, Lana? Can you tell me? Nope. Man, she's like more hard-headed than Edgeworth. Evidence. Do you know anything about this jar? Can't. What about this? Does this get anything at all? No. All right, we're done here apparently. Thanks, Lana. I kind of want to go talk to Edgeworth though. February 24th, prosecutor's office underground parking lot. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. Look, a door! Alright, that's not new. I'm just wondering if there's anything at all. Like, these are still so weird. She tries to kick it over herself and she can't. Must have been dead already, right? Like, I feel that's what this is. Like, the body must have come out, or she... Maybe she was trying to pull Goodman out of the car? I guess not. Anyway, suppose this wasn't the... We don't have anything here. Is Edgeworth here at all? Nope. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. This will come back later. Nothing's changed, right? Excuse me. Nope. Alright, so I think that we just need to go to the whatchamacallit. The police. The police department. Oh, hey. Hi, Marshall. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If there was a case I need to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Darksaw, right? But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match to the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibly had been erased. The facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SO9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the king of prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? Something about it being an honor, sorry. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SO9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. What? Interesting. It was drizzling that morning. By nightfall there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years had gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. I have suspicions. There was something going on behind the scenes of that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. I have the feeling that the chief of police is involved with this cover-up. This star was fired, now it's demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. Nope, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me what happened to my sister. Sorry, Bambina, but her secret's too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's the one thing for sure I found in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? I don't believe you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Bye. Should we see what nonsense is going on this time with these two? Let that patrolman sleep. The other guy must be a detective. So I cuffed the Lau, right? Then you know what he says? What are you, a moron? I'm an undercover agent. Oh man, hate when that happens. I guess he wasn't sleuthing. He was just listening how his friend messed up. Make a good pair. Like they just have like the bokeh style stuff going on. Alright, so I wonder if we'll get anything new if we go to the prosecutor's office later. Okay, sorry, this isn't new. Alright, let's go to the criminal affairs department. Maybe see if we can get into the chief's office. Place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets its unique charm. Oh, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. We were just told no. Let's go. What kind of... There's an organ in this room. Why is there an organ in this room? Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. You saw it still on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Yeah, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. Thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me. Why are you playing the organ? I couldn't remember where the C was. Seriously, why would you do that? We're here. We're not supposed to be here. Why are you playing a giant organ that's gonna bring him here? Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto. Have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Who's that? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. Ooh, 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 look, right here. It's the thing. It's the broken pot thing. Can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office. It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case is long since it's over. There's no need to investigate anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that case isn't over with you yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief can't deny a request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? Gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. I mean, I think that picture having that that weird evidence in it is pretty obvious, right? Like, if he died of a stab wound or something like that, maybe he didn't get stabbed with a knife, he got stabbed with like a piece of that vase or something. Or like they like hit him over the head with it. Well, we're probably not going to be able to get back in for now. So I'm thinking we pop over to the prosecutor's office and see if Edgeworth is out yet. Because I don't know. Nope. Alright, never mind. Alright, maybe we do try to get back in. Or maybe we try to press Lana for more information? Because, oh wait, we got that picture added, right? Yeah, let's ask her about this. Oh, damn it. Alright, never mind. Still. Oh, and they also took a picture, like, right next to that knight thing. Like, he has all those things in it, and there's something very sharp and pointy right here as well. I guess maybe we should try to go back in. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe! Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I am, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. Almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Sky's the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, prosecutors are responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talents as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. Yeah, take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. You don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems generally concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Might jog his memory. I'm gonna save real quick. The murder weapon, huh? About that jar. Yeah, I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. Just two of the most uninformative I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant. Where could I have seen that before? Nope. Alright. But they are kind of like hinting towards that. Switchblade knife? About this. Hey, what's that? It's a tag to it. Attached to it, with the label SO9 on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you're speaking of? What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from it. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. What is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again! Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. Excuse me. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? I mean, have you ever worked at a business? Come on. One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. Animal? He killed a man that witnessed the incident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by. God damn it. A jogger came up. The scene was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in? Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. The crime scene was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Sorry, I'm just gonna go back to this one because I want to read what he said about the actual incident. Killed a man. A kid walked by and he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Wow. Okay. It's pretty rough. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store. He bought it. Plus it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't even have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken off the tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. Okay, so like, he like went at him like that. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you just ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Silly put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe's our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Well, the picture in the pot make me think it's all related. I don't know if that's enough to convince him, though. Maybe we should show him the Defender of Truth and the Guardian of Proof. Stab in the back. I feel like this is the best option here. Maybe? Or no, never mind, that's the same as I had before. Stab in the back, died from it. Evidence brought from a past case of Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant's request. No idea how that's going to relate to anything. Oakhead managed to convince... Actually, like, it's not actually the Blue Badger, is it? This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstain of that evidence locker with his life! That's more than you could say about most officers nowadays. Would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. I have to admit, he's right, though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15. Does Gumshoe know about that murder, actually? That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 77777777. That's 17 too many, Detective. Executive officer. I just might have a hunch. Yeah, so do I. But how do I convince... How do I convince him to let me go in? Do I remind him of Edgeworth's duty? Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Oh wait, no, not that. That can't be it. The ID doesn't help us, it's just the thing that we can't really use. Excuse me. The murder weapon knife? Which is Edgeworth's. Well, actually, this is Edgeworth, so maybe this? What would Judge Brown do such a thing? No, that's not new. What do we have to convince him to let us check? Is like the fact that we have more blood spray to help? Is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height. Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall, new and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces? Well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol. So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face. Did... So they're playing that joke as The kid friendly of that is that it's talking about their height. Well, down in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. How can I convince him to let us in? We were talking about the murder weapon when we get the prompt around that. Add fingerprints. No one witnessed the murder. It's broken. The victim was carrying inside his body. Deepened stab wound. It's conclusive, but like... There's gotta be... I really hope this doesn't end kind of like last time where I got stuck on everything. Does Goodman's note help? No. What is it about the murder itself? Can only be submitted to the chief of police. The stabbing or a glove. The print had been wiped. Can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. Really? He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh. Oh ho ho. No, he's a patrolman. Would he be able to give us his ID? So that we can get in? He's already getting canned. But would it let us in? Wonder if Edger's back yet. There he is! Looks like he's writing something. What? What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? Huh. I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. What's up with this? Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Crazy Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's fallen to the ground! Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. Anyone look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But... Mr. Edgeworth, none of it's your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. Letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. What do you mean use it for anything? Gumshoe. We can use it to force Gumshoe to let us into the office. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility is the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same, no matter what excuse I might have. Mr. Edgeworth. I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Tell me why. Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. You up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. Too late to change prosecutors. But that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been a part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. So that was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Hey, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seems strange about it. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall's holding. A little different than yours. Yes, you're right. It has like a little spear. Ha, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. The story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. Getting him out of the way. Come now, right? You seriously can't expect me to sit down and shout you over a case about a cup of tea? But this isn't related to the case, remember? You said so yourself. So I did. Chief Gant gave this to you that day, didn't he? He asked you to bring it here from the police department. And the chief is a very competent man, but sometimes he does things that don't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent doing things that don't make sense. Certain detective comes to mind. I don't know. To me, that sounds like he's getting people out of the way and out of the office so that perhaps he can murder someone? This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other! Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize. Precisely. So they symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. Is this... Do they change the trophy? Like the thing? Like... Rather than a knife, did they use the, like, halberd to stab someone? It's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks Mr. Edgeworth, I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Because it was evidence in a murder. Chief Gant. King of Prostitute Trophy updated in the court record. Mm-hmm. Thanks, buddy. I'm gonna go talk to Gumshoe. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pounder of roast beef? Yes. Yes. Miss Star. Guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SO9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the incident from that case was due for transferal. It can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. The roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. Became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SO9 case. Of course, they are led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean, with the forgery of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof that anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough. What happened? After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used. Damon, Gant, and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation while Lana in second in command. They are the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. Magnetism? By that I mean his ability to extract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. Take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. So it makes it all the more infuriating. The Star. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powers on influence. Chief. That's right. Having solved the SO9 case, the position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control. And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? Blackmail. About forging evidence, perhaps? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. Hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. I don't think... She's probably not going to give me much of anything, right? Doesn't have anything else to tell me. The only I can give you now is a poppy seed rice set. Eat this and maybe you'll be able to tell black from white in court tomorrow. I assume she's going to say the same for everything, right? Yeah. Okay. All that said, I think we know what we need to do with Gumshoe. I want to try to complete the investigation at least, but I might have to stop soon, I think. So we might have to do the trial next time. Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Burn coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he needs desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office. Period. Be my neck on the line. The office is the last crime scene the SO9 is in. I have to take a look in there. There's gotta be something we can do to make him change his mind. Oh, I got it right here. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But... Here, take my ID card. You can't do that. If someone found out, they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? But at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, Detective, thank you. Swiftly tucked into the pocket. Well, I feel kind of bad manipulating him in that way, but we gotta. Here goes, Mr. Wright. Curious about this bit. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Ah! Sorry, thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ugh! Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? Yeah, it wasn't sneaking, I just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Give it back to him. Hey, don't do that to my card! Phoenix. Hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I would look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. Really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now, come on, let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this. I gotta check. There's really nothing on there? I'm legitimately surprised by that. I mean, whoa, right here though. There's a bunch of blood. Whoa, the area must have been covered in blood. This from that incident? It must be. When Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. 2 years had passed, so the reaction's kind of dull. So murder really did take place here. Really though? Like, Oh, you can't even examine that. Oh wait, yes you can. It's a real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone to this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it, I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. Jeez, careful what you say. Who knows, the chief may be hiding this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be. It's a very shiny desk. Safe. Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. Looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. 7-digit number. I think I might just know what it is. I don't want to touch this yet. But is it 7777 a bunch of times? I'm not sure what will happen if I enter the wrong code. I better wait until I find something more definite. Yeah, that's smart. 7-digit number. Didn't we see one of those somewhere? How about we try entering my birth date? No. The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from Criminal Affairs Department. It's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office. He makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in his ears. It's been a punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. That's funny. That is a funny reason. You see pretty far from 15 stories up. You ought to drop that suit of armor from here. At first the chief wanted to use stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. This is Lana's desk. Sure is tidy. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. I mean, any dust on it. It's like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They are the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her, or in memory of the crime? Just taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. But he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? Shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey! This is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. As long as it doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that! Talking about people falling off the 15th floor makes me think of the irregularities in the pension fund. This scene right here. If you've never seen the IT crowd, I think this is the first episode. You've probably seen this GIF before, but like, there he goes. Oop. That's what Gumshoe wants to do. Alright, I think we've looked around at everything for the most part. Still a little surprised. Or actually, can we talk? I figure I would try to do everything I can before entering the code. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. Entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. It's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. Told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant. And the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. Can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came to look around, right? Because it's one of the SO9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, right? Why do you ask? You don't think... you wouldn't be, no. No, there's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it. Okay. Now, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on, not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? Someone tells you don't worry about it. It's supposed to start bothering you, pal. Don't just let it go at that. Sorry. That's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant. Let's not come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Alright. Ready? Here we go. Is it? I think I might just know what it is. So it's either going to be his ID number or maybe it's a date. Nope, there's no date in here, so let's go with the ID number. You know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday? It's a better idea. Here goes nothing. Code confirmed. Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 777. 7777. The final ID card on that record. What? The number on the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 777777? That ID number? I think you're 17 shy this time. It's only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Are we gonna? I feel like we're gonna get interrupted by the chief. Is there any money in there? How much do you have stashed away? Look, it's a Is it the halberd? Ooh, it's the piece of the pot that's missing. A shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in here too. A handprint. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. Was Gant the one who wiped the thing away? This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just that. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it. And a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with the case, I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great, I had to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these two items related to the SO9 incident? Come on, it's gotta be something we can show the detective. Yeah, I know at least one. So let's start with the obvious. Or is it the check? Oh, we probably present it to him and then we do the little mini game, right? Detective Gumshoe, could you even look at this jar? I remember the three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days. Kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right. One of the shards had an SO9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one? That was in the safe? Yeah, that one. That was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, here's some glue. Alright. Beep. That was easy. There. Fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SO9 incident. But... Hey guys, get a load of this! What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others. How so? There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Okay, and now we got to prove the fingerprints. Can I fingerprint it? Judge Gumshoe, I'd like to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. You want to take some fingerprints? That's a great idea, detective. Alright, go to town, sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints. It's not your fingerprints we want to take. Huh? Come on, this is the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. Oh, with the handprint on it, right? Jeez, where's your sense of humor? Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's check it for prints. Alright, here we go. Check this one first. What just... Dust first and then blow. That's a messy fingerprint. What kind of result will be a match for any prints, huh? Doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print. Let's try a different finger. Okay, maybe this one? Ooh, this one's pretty good. This is not enough. I feel like I've got a pretty good print going on here. There we go. Who does this belong to? Lana, maybe? Not Lana. Goodman? Nope. Jake Marshall. Oh, this place is M at the crime scene. So how does placing Emma at the crime scene help more? Like, she was already a witness, right? So, what are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? It seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. Thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst, hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it, right? We just need to, like, cap things off somehow, I guess. So you're not going to close it? I guess not. Oh, look at the size of his desk. See that when we were here earlier. Oh, right, he put something away. Oh, it's you two. She can't. He put that paper he was reading at his desk. Wonder what he's reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Oh, it's the SO9 one. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said, I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. Guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-size list of evidence. Is this the other half, maybe? The list of evidence, it would seem too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case. It appears so. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. No, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Chief Gant! We didn't think he'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Oh, wait. You with the one... You with this... Wow. Sorry, can't speak today. You, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright! Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? Like you said, you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why she kept eerily silent about it the whole time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. Maybe we should mention this to Lana. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I've already told you all I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe. Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No. I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I am supposedly so frightened of? What was this person's name? Well, Miss Sky. Mr. Wright, you were addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place. Take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. Respected him as a detective. Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically hiding and forging evidence. Of course. These are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. This. I just found this in the safe in the Chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SO9 incident. The person who concealed the evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. As you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate in the murder of Detective Goodman. Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it. The knife from the SO9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That'd be Edgeworth's knife? That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my own hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes. Seems like I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Starr, huh? Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife? The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I don't want anyone on the force to know about this. That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. A bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SO9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden and I needed help. And he was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own. Oh, you mean, not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. How did he get the ID card, though? So I'm a little confused because this makes it sound like the phone call from Lana was the thing that like triggered Marshall to do what he did, but that couldn't have been the case, right? Because if the murder happened at 4:20 and then Edgeworth's car didn't get to the parking lot until 5:12, then Lana wouldn't have called called Marshall until 5:08, like right around then, right? And we don't have a record of Goodman's ID at that time, do we? After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call called the incident in the evidence room? Caused the incident? Really? Though, does the time really match up for it? I mean, I get it, like it makes sense within the narrative, but I'm still a little bit confused by that. $5:14. Oh, okay. I guess that checks out to some extent. 5:14 is when he goes in, so he gets a call like a couple minutes before that, which is around between 5:12 and 5:14. She stabs the body and then goes to make the phone call. And she calls Marshall first and then calls Emma like 6 minutes later. I guess she called Marshall. She called him from probably from that phone? Maybe? I don't know. But that's all I can tell you. But Lana, you've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. No, please. Don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. Bullshit, I won't. Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. Gotta get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. How do we prove he did it, though? I mean, I guess the only thing we have is the circumstantial evidence, really, of the 777 being used beforehand, right? And that ties him to the room. I mean, Lana's testimony about like the knife and everything there. I don't know. I just don't know if we have like the like most airtight case on it, you know? We have a case for sure, but is it airtight? I don't know. Final day, trial former. Alright, it's late. It's 11:20 for me, and we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So I need to stop, unfortunately. But we made really good progress and found out like a lot about the case, right? Like a ton of stuff. And next time we play this, we'll pick it up from here. So tomorrow's Thursday. I'm probably gonna play trivia with my friends in the evening, and I haven't streamed the past 2 weeks or so on Thursday, so don't count on a stream tomorrow. And if I did stream it, I wouldn't stream this. I want to make sure that when I do stream it next, that everyone knows when that's happening. So that'll be Friday, 7:30 Eastern, and we will finish this trial. It'll be great. So have a good rest of your day and rest of your night, everyone. I hope you have a good one. Let me see. Do I have? Yeah, I have this silly. Here's a silly image to enjoy. You fools! Did anyone see the droids who got away with the Death Star plans? My lord, it seems to have been a Blue R2 unit and an F8 protocol droid. Oh, word! Those are my boys. Found that one the other day and thought it was pretty good. Anyway, have a good one, everyone, and take it easy. Bye for now.